That's up to you.
Were all the quarterbacks, wide receivers to the top is what ended up making these trades possible, pushing everybody down toward you guys? That's how the draft went.
Yeah, they could. I mean, it could have helped. Sure. Just based on the numbers, you mean? Yeah.
Right.
Did you expect to have partners at that point to get out of
We
the
had
first round?
Going into it, we thought there'd be a number of teams. We didn't know where the quarterbacks were going to go. We thought there'd be a number of quarterbacks down in the bottom, but we knew
Still
they were.
weren't.
Yeah, so we kind of projected that before we went in. But we didn't know what people would be moving for. We didn't know who the people would be moving for, and so we had several numbers left, and then it just made sense based on where we were. We didn't see the last one coming. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought we were going to pick, but the player was still available, so we didn't. And then our guys did a great job of working the phones, and we were able to put something together.
It was as unpredictable first round as you've seen with it. It seemed like there were quite a few surprises there.
Yeah, well, I think, the biggest one was Pat. I mean, John and those guys in Kansas City going out to get him, that was the biggest trade. I mean, that was pretty, that rocked it pretty good. And I mean, there's a trade, in the second pick with Chicago getting Trubisky. We didn't see that coming. So we can't be in everybody's buildings.
John,
was it a goal coming in to get more picks, John, or did you just kind of work out that way? The way the board fell, that kind of get that?
I mean, it was to a certain extent, but not at the cost of losing a player. No.
That's what was great. We didn't feel like we lost a player to make the moves from the league. Kept us incentivized. Good.
Is it that you didn't have first round grades on anyone left, or the guy is going to be available tomorrow? You feel confident?
No, we did. We had several.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just happened that other people were picking different players, and we had a couple upsets in there, and so that totally helped us out.
to have 6 second, third round picks, pretty exciting going into tomorrow.
Second day, yeah, I was
Second.
like, really?
I said
When did
second.
that happen? Sorry, Sean.
Thought I said second and third.
Sorry, you threw me off.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, we were just sitting there looking at it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun weekend.
The first trade, is that something you work on ahead of time, have calls with teams that if a guy's available, maybe we'll pull the trigger on this, or does it all happen in the minutes leading up to the pick?
Minutes leading up to the pick, it's been our 8th draft now together, so everything moves pretty smoothly.
When you make that, we're ready for whatever, in all the situations. Yeah.
When you make the move with the 49ers, do you have a pretty good idea they're going to take Foster? And a second question on that is how do you feel about trading within the division? Obviously you did it, but for some people would say, ooh, that's a little concerning. What's your
Some people,
philosophy on that?
I mean that's some people have that rule, in their building, like you never trade within the division, and I think on draft day it's just about draft weekend. Sorry, it's just about moving around, and so to me or to us, it really doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Now anything outside of that, outside of the draft is, it's got to be, something that means a lot for both clubs. We traded with San Fran this last year at 53 cut and had a player fail his physical, but it's pretty rare.
How about Foster? Did you have a sense of that was the direction they go, or did you think maybe they're going to go with a quarterback? Or
Yeah, I didn't know at the time.
Yeah, I would say though, there could be a time when you wouldn't want to do it because you know who they might pick and that we might overlook that opportunity to trade. That didn't happen, but it could. John had that thought in there, just to remind you this isn't within the division also. We're tuned into that, but that wasn't the case.
John, could you describe that trade with Atlanta and how it came down to the final seconds? Because the 3rd and the 7 seemed like a pretty good haul for moving 5 spots.
In terms of, I'm sorry.
Was it right down to the last moment before they?
Was it pretty close?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were just trying to debate whether or not we were going to pick or make the trade. I'm sorry, that was the first one. So we had a couple things going right there, and with
besides
a couple
Atlanta.
teams, And so Atlanta's just made the most sense, it was the closest to us, and
I thought it was a really neat
So-
job, you know, John had to try to anticipate what would happen, and the guys we were looking at, you know, could we still hold them available to us, and, you know, he had to figure it out and take a shot at it, which was cool, it worked out, so, they worked really just like we had hoped, so we're very fortunate.
Pete, you